Hey guys, Dan Hood, Big DH 2000 here. Um, I did a whole slew of slingshots when this hide in place business started around March 12th, March 13th, something like that. And then you notice I haven't put anything out for a while. That's because I've been doing a ton of gluing, ton of planning, what to do, what colors to put together, what this and that. And now I've got about another 8 to 10 of them that are all going to happen rather quickly here over the next few days. Um, Once again, this is what's being referred to as a Colt PFS. Okay, the Colt was originally designed by Toddy, and then Phil. Many of you know him as Muzz. Um, just took it and kind of squeezed it together, which is why it has a very deep saddle. I've seen it done two ways, where the saddle wasn't as deep and where the saddle's as deep. I kind of, since Muzz drew up the design this way, I kind of go, it's a bit of a chore because it's a lot more difficult to sand a saddle that deep and especially that narrow. But I also had this weird red Corian, and I just, the longest time, didn't know what to do with it. It was only big enough for two palm swells. I was looking over there and I saw the red G10 that you see down the middle of the two black phenolics cores. And I thought, man, that stuff would all go well together. And then, of course, I had to find the right design for it because this Corian was only so wide and so long, and I wanted to use as much of it as I could so as not to waste any of it. But at the same time, I, you know, you know how it is. You don't want to waste, and you want to use as much, and you want it to look good. Another thing I did very differently on this slingshot, um, canvas phenolic comes in layers. Okay, it's obviously canvas layers, and then they pour resin on it. So when you sand it, you can sand it to slightly different depths, and this is all once you've got it shaped. You can, and you're starting to sand it. If you sand it just a little bit more, it might be more dark and more resin looking. Whereas if you maybe don't sand it as much, you still got more of the crisp, the hatch pattern from the canvas, because the canvas string is more prevalent because you're at the layer where you've cut through the middle of you sanded through the middle of the canvas material. If you keep sanding, you get to the point where the canvas material is almost non-existent because you're almost between the two layers of cloth, and that'll look more like resin. Well, this time I stopped where the canvas layer, hopefully you can see this. Let's see if we can get it in front of my face. You can see, hopefully you can see the canvas layer right there. It's really prevalent right along the edge. You can see this is very dark and clear and smooth, whereas the canvas is up here. Okay. I did it differently because it gives it so much more of an industrial look, and I don't know, you know, you put Corian on top of industrial plywood of the top of cabinets to make the cabinets look pretty. I don't know, this was the industrial look with the finished Corian on top of it, kind of what mentally was going through my mind at the time. And you also see that I've left, you can sand just a little bit more and make the white layers of canvas disappear a little bit more in the phenolic and in the G10, depending on how much you sand or how little you sand. I left it so that you got a little bit more of the white layers in here. I don't know, just being different. Anyway, I love this color combination. And yeah, this one actually does not have a home. So if anybody's interested, sorry for talking so long. Take care.